See, what we gotta understand as humans, we all have basic fears, right? All humans have these basic fears, and one of the biggest fears is that fear of being alone. I know for me, especially like in my earlier 20s, I literally hated being alone. Like I felt like, man, if I wasn't out like with the homies or going to a party or doing this and doing that, I really felt like I was really lonely. And if you feel lonely in your own company, you gotta realize that you're not in good company. And I feel like most people's issues come because they don't like to be alone. Like I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin because I had all these insecurities and I'm feeling like, man, don't nobody else go through what I'm going through. So I felt uncomfortable in my own skin. So naturally, what am I doing? I'm looking for validation from other people because I didn't like being alone. So I'm looking for other people to make me feel good. And just like we talk about with unrealistic expectations, people cannot live up to your unrealistic expectation. And like, that's really something we really have to ask ourselves. Like you literally need to sit down and ask yourself, like, self, do you like hanging out with yourself? Do you love being in your own company? Because 10 years ago, I hated being by myself, but now I appreciate my alone time. Now I love hanging out with my friends or, you know what I'm saying, different women and things like that. But I enjoy my alone time as well. Because guess what? With alone time, it gives you time to self-reflect. It gives you time to be creative. It gives you time to focus. See, a lot of people hop from relationship to relationship because they don't want to face themselves in the mirror. They don't want to self-reflect. You know what I'm saying? They need that other person to validate them. They need somebody else to make them feel good. You know what I'm saying? How many people do y'all know that the only reason they married or with somebody is because they don't want to be alone? A lot of people get into relationships or marriages simply because they don't want to die alone. But the truth of the matter is that we come in this world alone, and guess what? You're gonna go out. See, when I truly started to really love myself, my relationships with women started to improve because I knew how to stand on my own. See, a lot of us don't know how to stand on our own, and when you're constantly looking to be validated, you're not gonna be happy. You know what I'm saying? So really, you gotta really sit down and ask yourself, do you like yourself? Do you really love yourself? Because if you don't love yourself, what does that show? Especially for us men. If you don't really love yourself, it shows that you don't believe in yourself. And we all know what's the number one thing most women love in a guy? It's confidence. How can you be confident if you don't love being alone? You know what I'm saying? How can you be confident when you don't like yourself? How can you be confident when you're looking for her to validate you? Come on now. So a lot of us, we gotta understand, women want leaders. And for you to be a leader, you gotta be confident. And for you to be confident, you gotta love to be alone. And a lot of us don't wanna hear that. A lot of us don't wanna hear that because we fear being alone. See, also too, man, I also think about the fact that, man, a lot of us really cheat ourselves, man. We cheat the potential of the greatness that we can really have. Like, a lot of times, man, we're settling for people that we really don't want because we don't want to be alone. Like when you really get in tune with yourself, man, the relationships you start to have be hella good because you really locked into who you are. So you got standards for yourself. You got self-respect. You confident in what you want. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when you don't like being alone, a lot of times it's because you don't know what you want out of life. A lot of times it's like you clueless. You don't know what you want. And until you are able to look yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself, be honest about them insecurities and get some help, then nothing's ever gonna change in your life. And until I made that switch, everything went left for me. You know what I'm saying? All the relationships and situations I had with women, they went south because I wasn't happy with myself. You know what I'm saying? I hated being alone. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't fathom in my head of not going out back-to-back weekends. I had to go out every weekend because I needed to be around other people to make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? And the first relationship you gotta have before you can have a relationship with anybody else is that relationship with yourself. How do you feel about yourself? Because as a man, if you're not confident, how are you gonna lead a relationship? You know what I'm saying? How are you gonna lead a woman? Where are you going? Where are you going with your life? See, we be so worried about women and what they doing, but you're not even worried about yourself. You don't like being alone. You don't even love yourself. But yet you think you love this chick over here. But how can you really love somebody when you don't even love yourself though? And that's the question to a lot of people. I think a lot of times, man, in this generation, Man, social media and looking at other people's lives, a lot of that stuff low-key makes us depressed. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that stuff makes us feel sad about our lives. We comparing ourselves. We know comparison is the thief of joy, right? Because when you love to spend that time alone, that's when you really learn who you are. You start to be more productive, more creative, more confident. You come off more appealing. You more in tune with yourself. You start eating better. You gotta love yourself. So many people out here, man, I'm telling you, because I know a lot. They fear being alone, so they'll take anything. And for me, and the way my mindset is, I'm not taking anything. Now, I understand in the grand scheme of things, everybody's gonna settle because you don't know everybody out there. But in the same time, I'm not settling for my non-negotiables. You know what I'm saying? I love myself enough to not be in a situation with somebody I don't find to be valuable to me. And that's how you gotta think. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are we so thirsty for validation. We gotta be validated. And I'm not saying this is something you thinking about like, oh, I gotta be validated. I gotta be validated. No, what I mean is we're so thirsty for people's attention and making people abide to our program when we're not even abiding to our own program. You gotta love yourself, man, because it's a cold world. Because if you don't love yourself, what do we say about that? If you don't put yourself first, people will put you last. And for so many years, I didn't love myself and I tried to put other people first and I constantly got put last. I always felt like the odd man out. And that's what motivates me today. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to not love myself. I know what it feels like to be depressed. You know what I'm saying? I know what it feels like to get placed last. And if you know what that feeling is like, you should be doing everything in your power to work on them insecurities, to be alone, to spend time with yourself. Ask yourself them hard questions. Ask yourself, why do you feel like that? Why do you feel like this? Man, you gotta be real with yourself. Too many of us out here are not real with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We go from relationship to relationship to relationship because we thinking that's gonna make us feel good. No, that's gonna make you feel worse because you're not gonna really know who you are and you're gonna get lost in the sauce. And that's my whole point to this message. Until you love yourself, you can't make nothing shake with nobody else. You won't have no good business partnerships, no good relationships, nothing. You gotta love yourself because it starts with you. It starts up here with your mindset. You gotta believe in yourself, man. We humans. The chances of us being on this planet, it's like 1 in a billion. That one sperm had to hit the egg. Or that one egg had to hit the sperm, whatever. So the chances of you being on Earth is already, it's a slim chance. So the fact that you're still here and watching this video should let you know that you're here for a reason. And it's your job to figure out that reason why you're here. Because nobody else can figure out that reason for yourself. And it starts with you loving yourself. Self-love is the best love. Self-love is the best love out there. If people love themselves more, a lot of this negativity in the world wouldn't happen. But guess what? It's still gonna happen because you gotta have opposites. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be good and there's gonna be bad. But at the end of the day, when you have self-love, you automatically got standards for yourself. You got confidence. You're gonna attract good energy to you. You're gonna attract good people to you. But when you so thirsty to be with somebody because you don't wanna be alone, what you think you're gonna attract to you? All you're gonna attract is toxicity. That's it. And that's why at the end of the day, love yourself. All right, guys, that's my video for today. I appreciate you guys for subbing to the channel. All the new subs, I appreciate you guys for real. Definitely, guys, make sure you continue to like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I'm gone.